All right. Says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know and we will get this started. Not expecting a full house today. I know we have F1 starting at the same time. It's also Mother's Day, so if that does apply to you, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to mine. I'm sure she is watching, but excited for the race today. Love Darlington. A very interesting slate. A lot of ways we can go. I think it's a lot of different strategies you can take in because we have a lot of place differential plays that we can play in the back. Well, two main ones with Chase Elliott starting in 34th, and we have Kevin Harvick starting in 35th. But at the same time, we have a lot of good drivers starting up front that have the potential to dominate, and we have close to 300 laps available to us. So dominator points are going to be quite important this weekend. So it is definitely going to be a fun slate. But I'll let some people roll in, and we will get this started. And again, if you are just not getting here, make sure to leave a like on the video. If you have not yet joined the DraftKings contest, I am not sure how many spots there is open yet, but make sure you get in there so we can fill that up. Don't think we'll have any problem with that. DFS says loud and clear. Good, good, good. What's up, Bull? What's up, Mike? Hey, Chris, liking the beard. Looks good. I got to shave, actually, so don't get used to it. I don't like having hair on my face too much. I like a little bit, but not too much. See Tito's here. What's up? Let's go, Joey. Hashtag Mother Gang. Yes, my mom does like Joey, so if you're looking for the narrative, it could be Joey Logano today. Although, I do think the competition caution does hurt him a little bit. I was pretty close to even on the field on Joey. I'm kind of not sure what to do with him. I think he's in a very odd spot because he was obviously very fast in practice. Did fall off in the long run, though. Was P11 in the 15 lap. And then you have guys like Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Truex, Briscoe that were much faster as the long run progressed. So he's interesting. He's got good short run speed, but I do think that competition caution does hurt him quite a bit because obviously everything can get shuffled, and that's going to be on lap 30. Jamie Little tweeted that out not too long ago. What's up, Dave? Andrew says Gibbs was strong here last year. I wouldn't be surprised if they're strong again. I felt like I was maybe just a little bit low on Truex and Hamlin during my video, but the more I looked into it, I do like what they did in the 15 lap run. We know they're pretty good at conserving their tires. And obviously Truex and Hamlin are very good at Darlington. So I'm actually a little bit higher on them than I was in my video. Truex, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, although, you know, obviously Kyle Busch, we have to worry about the baby watch there because he could always have to leave the race. Trevor Bayne's going to be the fill-in there, which obviously Trevor Bayne racing is not going to be the same as Kyle Busch. That'd be a definite downgrade. But if Kyle Busch does start the race, you will get the points. Even if he does leave and Trevor Bayne fills in, all those points will go to Kyle Busch. But yeah, I'm a little bit higher in the JGR cars than I was on my video. I mean, I don't like them more than I like Kyle Larson or Chase Elliott, but I still like them enough to be upping my exposure a bit more than what I probably sounded like on my video. I always like Kyle Busch, and that's still the same, but I think definitely a little bit higher on Hamlin and Truex. What's up, Philip? Joshua says smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button. Helps me out. Really does help me out. What's up, Spread? Happy Mother's Day, Mama Pen. Yes, for sure. I'm sure she'll be here soon. Chris says, what's up, brother Chris? So happy to be home for this race. Gonna be watching it with family. Hope you enjoy the race. Awesome, Chris. Glad you're back. I know you said you couldn't be watching the past few races, so glad you're able to watch. Should be a good race. It starts at like 4 p.m. today, so it's gonna be a long night. I guess I should say long evening. Fortunately, we do have lights at Darlington. Clint Wood says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Clint? Happy race day. Everyone thank my man with your like buttons. Yeah, leaving a like on the video does help me out quite a bit. Do appreciate it. But yeah, I really like this slate today. Lots of ways you can go. I would not be surprised if this is the Tyler Reddick, first career cup win. Fast in practice. Can ride the high line here at Darlington. I'm liking it quite a bit. I mean, I know the odds aren't like super long, but at 1,400, at least last time I looked, I wouldn't be surprised if Reddick picks up his first one. This is setting up pretty well for him. Jay Smoke says, yo, bro, what's good today, my guy? Doing well. Just got home from South Carolina. Was at, if you guys know DFS by the numbers, his wedding. I was there at the beach. So just got home a couple days ago, so I'm still a little tired, recovering, because I didn't get home until 4 a.m. But yeah, it's been going good. I actually like Kurt Busch today. Could sneak into the top 10. Kurt Busch is one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate today. I'm hoping people are kind of scared of him starting in 6, but at $7,300, it's hard not to get behind him a little bit. I mean, it was P4 in the 15 lap in practice, P10 in the 10, P12 in the 5, but we know he's good at conserving his tires, good at the high tire wear tracks, obviously very good at Darlington, and I don't like to use track history too much, but it's a pretty unique track. So guys that are good at Darlington in general, just I think you just have to have some interest because that will carry over a bit. But I do like Kurt Busch a lot. I mean, $1,700 is too cheap for how good he is at Darlington, and we always have these drivers that we expect to fall back a little bit that just don't and kind of hang around all day, and I think Kurt Busch could certainly be that guy. Not someone I'm saying to go all in on by any means, but I do think he's worth to be a little bit overexposed in tournaments today. What's up, Obi? Doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. I think I said well too many times in that sentence. Yeah, there's the link to the DraftKings contest. We have 13 spots left open, so that's certainly going to fill before lock. We have about 4 hours until lock, so if you want in, I'd recommend doing that because it won't last too long. SNR says Suarez top 5 today. I wouldn't be completely surprised about it. Top 5 might be pushing it for me, but I don't think a top 10, top 12 is out of the equation here, looking at his numbers. He's starting in P20. He was top 10 in practice as far as the 5 and 10 lap goes. Didn't get anything for the 15, but I think Suarez is going to be a fine play today. The problem is I'm kind of top heavy in a lot of my lineups. Maybe not a lot of my lineups, but I do have a lot of Elliott and Larson together. So I end up going into that like 6K range more so than the 7K range outside of a couple of drivers. So I'm hoping he goes a little bit overlooked, but I do think he's a pretty solid play today overall. D. Travis Miller says, I called the winner the last 2 weeks. Lucky perhaps. This week I'm going Harvick, which I know sounds crazy, but it is Harvick. Yeah, Harvick is really good at Darlington. I personally don't see him winning. He's not going to have that track position to work with. Is it possible? Sure. For me, I think it's either going to be Larson or Reddick today. Like, ever since the season started, heading into Darlington, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play Reddick. I'm going to play Kyle Larson at Darlington, so I'm going to stick with it. I mean, could Harvick win? For sure. It's just, man, he's got a long battle to go starting in 35th, but I really do like Reddick and Larson today. I just really want Reddick to win. At some point, it's got to happen, and everything looks good for him to at least contend for a win today. Kat Savon says, I haven't been a NASCAR fan long, but it seems like Logano wrecks every single week. He usually doesn't. He's a very good driver, but man, I feel like the past couple seasons he's been a little bit up or down. Still one of the better drivers in all of NASCAR, and he was obviously very fast in practice, but he has been a tough driver to trust for sure. And Joey Logano, man, he's a tough call this weekend. Like, I don't think you have to play him in cash games. I realize the price is low. He's fast in practice, and he's starting P1. But at the same time, how long is he going to hold that lead? And then you also have the competition caution, which can obviously shuffle things up. We see it each and every single time. So while I'm expecting Logano to lead the first 30 laps, what happens after that? Because starting in P1, you don't have much leeway to lose spots. So I think it's going to be it's a tough call on Logano. Like, is he cash viable? Sure, but he's going to have to dominate the majority of stage 1, which I do have concerns because you have some really good drivers right behind him in Kyle Larson. You have Martin Truex Jr., Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain. So I wouldn't say it's an easy task. That's for sure. Steven says, yo, Chris, at the Phillies game, cheers to all. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoy it. I'm not playing MLB DFS today just because NASCAR doing both at the same time does mess me up. But hope you have a fantastic game. And yeah, happy Mother's Day to all. Chris says, cash head-to-head. I'll tell you right now, I hate cash this weekend. Like, usually I can land on a cash lineup. This weekend, I am struggling mightily. I might not even play cash. It is tough this weekend. But Chris says, cash head-to-head, Elliott, Chastain, Reddick, Harvick, Stenhouse, and LaJoy. Or do you think I need Larson? I would recommend getting Larson in for cash. Like, that's a great lineup. Like, I have no problems at all with any of those drivers. They all look excellent. But personally, for me, I'm going to try to get in Larson for cash games. I just think the upside, like, if he gets up front, he's going to be very high owned. And if you don't have him, you're going to be in trouble. So you're probably going to have to drop one of like a Chastain or Reddick. It's a tough call. I mean, I love all the drivers you said, but I want Larson in cash games. Going to my girlfriend. Happy Mother's Day to all moms, for sure. For sure. YouTube contest has 11 spots left. Yep. So if you haven't joined yet already, you're just now getting here, make sure you get in. You only got 11 spots left, which that might even be less now. And we have 4 hours to lock, so it'll fill pretty quick. Yeah, what Andrew said, Kyle got third here in this race last year and got into the wall early. Austin Dillon got into him in the fall race. I think things align well for Kyle today on Mother's Day with a baby on the way. Yeah, we were talking about that in Discord earlier where The narrative this weekend is right in front of us. It's Kyle Busch because he's got a baby on the way and he could very well end up missing a portion of this race. But he does have the baby narrative going on for Mother's Day today, so I think that even helps your Kyle Busch exposures if you want them. Because I don't know, I feel like every single week there's a narrative that works out. Like last weekend, the race gets postponed a day or suspended a day, and we have Kyle Busch's birthday on a Monday. What's he do? He goes out and dominates. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I like Kyle Busch. I mean, starting P5. P3 in the 5-lap in practice did fall off quite a bit for the 10-lap, but it's still Kyle Busch. He's below 10K. I think you are getting a very nice price point on him. Jared says, look like you got a little bit of sun. I probably did. I probably didn't use enough sunscreen in South Carolina because it's not as warm there as it is in Florida, so I probably just neglected using the sunscreen as much as I should have. So I probably got burnt a little bit. But I am happy to be back in Florida. It's back to my warmness. Like when it was like low 80s there, but it still felt cold compared to normal, especially with the wind. Chris Dioya says, greetings from Germany. Oh, what time is it in Germany? It's probably what, like 6 p.m. there? Do appreciate you watching from across the pond, though. It's pretty awesome having some international people here. I know we have someone from the Philippines. I don't know how I think it's like 12 hours ahead. Right, Dorito says, getting way too much LaJoy and Dylan. Best pivot under $6,000. I do like both those drivers, especially LaJoy because he's way too cheap. Not saying LaJoy is going to come out and smash for a top 20, but he's only $4,900, which I don't know why he's less expensive than a guy like Landon Castle, but he is, so we just have to deal with it. But best pivots down there besides Dylan and LaJoy, I would have to say under $6,000. It's probably Todd Gilliland and Justin Haley. I like Justin Haley a lot. He's my favorite play from that 5K range. And then probably is Todd Gilliland there. I mean, Justin Haley had a fantastic race last weekend at Dover. I know he had track position to start with, and he's not going to have that this weekend, but he still finished P11, held his own, and finished P23 at Auto Club earlier in the season, another high tire wear track. So even, I mean, if he finishes P23, I think we'll be pretty happy starting in P29 below $6,000. John says, hey Chris, what's up John? Chevy has not won at Darlington for years. Do we fade Hendrick this week and lean into the Fords? I mean, while that might be the case, you have to keep in mind it's a completely different situation now where we have the next gen car, we have an aero package change, so I really hate to put too much into that. And you got to keep in mind, Kyle Larson's a Chevy, Chase Elliott's a Chevy. I mean, these guys have been, top dogs so far this year. Ross Chastain's a Chevy, so it's not something I would personally take into consideration. Like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but Kyle Larson's been like knocking on the door the past couple seasons at Darlington to win the race. So I would certainly not be fading Chevys, because if you're fading Chevys, you're fading Larson, Elliott, Chastain, which is not something I want to be a part of today. Jay Smoke says, thanks for the input, bro. You think fading Hendrick today is a smart move? I don't know. Can't seem to get to any of them for real. I'm torn between MTJ and Larson. Well, kind of just leads into what I was just talking about, where I don't want to fade Hendrick. Like, I realize, like you said, they haven't won in a while here, but at the same time, Kyle Larson's been very dominant at Darlington. Even though he's not winning, he's still been very good play. So I have no problem at all with Hendrick. Chase Elliott's been very good here, but he has a lot of skewed finishes because he either gets wrecked out or just runs into an issue. Obviously, JGR has been very strong. Truex, Hamlin, they've been very, very good at Darlington, but I'm still just fine with Hendrick today. I'm pretty spread out in exposures in general. Like, I am not like all in on a guy. Like, I don't have 70% Larson today. I'm pretty spread out because I think there's a lot of ways we can go up front, and it's a tough week. It really is. Like, it's not like we're Martinsville where you could go basically all in Chase Elliott and basically all in William Byron, feel good about it. This is one of those weeks where I'm pretty spread out up top, and I just kind of have to hope I had the right things fall into place for me down low and in the middle. Timothy says, need some DraftKings money today. Old man is taking down some contests. I hope you do, Timothy. Hope you do. Who's your favorite plays today? See if we're on the same page. John says, who will finish higher, Hamlin versus Truex? So Hamlin is going to the rear, I believe. I think that's what Bob said. Not that it really matters too much in the grand scheme of things, but if I had to project who finishes better, it might have to be Truex there because he's not going to lose his track position to start with. And obviously that is going to be pretty important. I'm going to pull up Bob's Twitter quick here and see if anything else is happening. I know there's no tech today, but let's see. I think he tweeted out. Okay, so right now we have Hamlin, Elliott, Harvick, McLeod. To the rear, he said no tech today, but there could be more. Also, only a 2% chance of rain, so we will take that. But if I had to pick head-to-head who's going to finish better, it's going to be Truex for me. But I do like Denny Hamlin better as far as DFS goes today. Honor says, might skip cash and do a 3 max this week. That's my recommendation. I don't like cash this weekend. Like, I don't know, some weeks you just have to pick and choose your battles, and I think this is a better tournament weekend than it is a cash weekend. Like, there's just too many good plays on top for me. And sometimes you just gotta know, like, if you don't think you can land on a good cash lineup, you don't have to force yourself to play. You can just play tournaments instead. Andrew says, I think Bell top 5 plus 250 is a sneaky bet. It's not bad. I mean, it certainly is not bad. We know the 20 car's got a pretty good history at Darlington with Eric Jones back in the day. Bell was not great in practice, though. I will say that. 24th in the 5 lap, 29th in the 10, 12th in the 15. Thing is, though, is weird. JGR wasn't very good in practice last weekend, and they came out and smashed. So we'll see what happens. Bell's got a couple of top 15s at Darlington. Nothing too impressive, but he doesn't have track position to start with. Top 5 might be pushing it for me. I wish the odds were a little bit better. Plus 250 doesn't even seem amazing to me. I don't hate the bet, but personally, for me, I'm probably not doing it myself. Headhunter Racing says, what's up with Kyle Busch? If you were wondering why he's got the questionable tag on him, it's because he's on baby watch. Which, if you like that for a Mother's Day narrative, you could up your exposure. But just know that there's a chance he is not in the car the entire race, and anybody besides Kyle Busch is going to be a downgrade. Like, it's a good car still, obviously, but it's not Kyle Busch driving it. You will still accumulate the points, though. Let's see. The Travis Miller says, my DraftKings lineup today. Oh, I got a donut from my man Spread. Appreciate it. For the electric shaver fund. Thank you. I need a trim like right after this. Gotta look fresh for Osmo, I guess. I probably won't, but definitely need to shave. Appreciate the dono, Blake _EE. Favorite sub 6K play for me, that's Justin Haley. I like the starting spot, like the price point. I think he's got top 20 upside, looked great last week in a Dover. For me, it's going to be Justin Haley. Do appreciate the 2 donos though. Let's see. Anyway, the Travis Miller said, my DraftKings lineup today, Larson, Chastain, Reddick, Harvick, Haley, and LeJohn. I'm surprised that even fits. That's a good lineup. That's a really good lineup. I was wondering how it fits, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you don't have Chase Elliott, so that's probably why. But yeah, I think it's a very solid lineup. I love Chastain today. Chastain and Reddick are some of my favorite plays overall. I know they're going to be decently high owned, but I just want to be able to wait on the field. I'm hoping the price bump on Chastain keeps some people away from him, but he honestly deserves to be above guys like Hamlin and Truex as far as prices go. So I still think we're getting a decent price tag on a guy that just dominates, or at least contends at each and every single track type this year. John says, should we fade Elliott since he has crashed in 2 of the last 4 Darlington races? No, I mean, that's just unlucky circumstances. He's been running very well at those tracks. You just can't control someone wrecking. It's completely random. I'm hoping people stay away from him just because of that, but I mean, some things are out of your control. And I remember one of the races with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is the one who ended Chase Elliott's day for that, but I mean, he had a fast car in practice before he just blew it up, and I mean, starting in 34th, I don't see a reason not to like Chase today, besides the fact that it's a tall task for him to get up front and dominate. But at the same time, if there's just a main dominator today and Chase Elliott moves his way to the top 5 and picks up fast laps on the way, he can still be in the optimal lineup even if he doesn't get up front. But he will have to have a couple things go his way, but it's certainly possible. If you're playing cash games, he's an out of luck for me. And still a very good play in tournaments, but I would probably rather be exposed to Kyle Larson than I would Chase Elliott as far as tournaments go, because Larson has got that super high ceiling with his ability to get up front quite quickly, starting in second. Robert says, Logano, Elliott, Harvick, Dillon, Busher, Haley for tourneys. So you have Logano as your Dom, you have Elliott, you have Harvick. Well, I'm not sure which Dillon. I'm going to assume Austin Dillon if we're just going by the price down from top to bottom. Buescher and Haley, that's a really good lineup. I like Buescher quite a bit in tournaments today. I mean, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be quite chalky. I think Buescher's a really nice pivot there. A little bit of extra track position to work with, and he's been very good at Darlington and also pretty good at high tire wear tracks too. Slim Brody says, outside of Chase and Harvick, which Dominator are you leaning towards in cash, debating Larson and Blaney? For me, it's 100% Larson. I know Ryan Blaney was fast in practice. History at Darlington really isn't there. It's not something I care about too much, but at the same time, Kyle Larson was also fast in practice, first in the 15 lap, and he's also amazing at Darlington. So it's definitely going to be a lean towards Kyle Larson for me. He's also starting in the front row, so you have an easier path to domination. So I'm going to be siding with the Kyle Larson side there. I know Kyle Larson hasn't been his dominant self this year, but I really do feel like this is going to be his breakout race. At least I hope it is. I do have a lot of Kyle Larson today. MJ Murray says Harvick versus Reddick. So if you're playing cash games or if you're trying to get a little bit safer, it's definitely going to be Harvick. If you're looking for that GPP upside that can get up front and dominate, Reddick's going to be that guy. As far as my projections go, I have Harvick at 5 points, about like 4.5 points higher than Reddick. But you got to keep in mind, I am a little conservative with projections. So, I mean, if you just gave Reddick more Dominator points than what I have, which I gave him like 13.5 right now, it could easily be Reddick. So, it just depends on what kind of contest you're doing. We got a donut from Man Travis. McLeod for the win. Just kidding. Always enjoy your race voice stream, man. Just want to pitch in for your bets. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you for the donut. I love having you here as well. Nice to bounce ideas off of each other, that's for sure. Let's see. I think I missed something. I see my mom's here. Says thank you, Spread. What's up, Mom? Happy Mother's Day. I'm glad you can make it. If you said something before, I must have missed it. Chris Palmer says, so does this sound better? Larson, Elliott, Reddick, Harvick, LaJoy, and which of these two, Burton or Gilliland? It's a solid lineup. And if I had to pick between the two, it's going to be Gilliland for me. Just a little bit more PD upside, but both those drivers I could easily see screwing my day. Actually, my projections have them at the exact same points. I have Burton for 22.54, and I have Gilliland for 22.54. Gilliland gave me the better point per dollar value there, but it's basically the same play, so just flip a coin. Chris Palmer says, I really like Stenhouse and cash, though, too. Yeah, I like Stenhouse quite a bit today. Unfortunately, he's one of my highest owned drivers, and I realize this does not usually end well. But all the numbers do point to wanting to play some Stenhouse. If you're looking at the high tower tracks we've had this year, 2nd at Dover, 10th at Auto Club, which are like his only 2 good races of the year. And also, if you're looking at practice, he was P11 in the 1 lap, P10 in the 5, and P6 in the 10. So he's also pretty good at steep tracks in general. It doesn't feel great, but the numbers do point to wanting to play some Stenhouse today, even though it's not a fun time. But we'll see what happens, but I do like him quite a bit. SNR says 2 Dominators, 4 place differential, a good GPP makeup. Feels like rolling 3 Dominator lineups won't be optimal. Yeah, I think 2 Doms is probably the best way to go. Now, if you are playing a 3 Dom lineup, it is possible if it's like a Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano type build. But if you're trying to go Kyle Larson, Elliott, and then or not Elliott because he's not really like a Dominator today. So if you're trying to go like Kyle Larson, Truex, and a Kyle Busch, it's a little bit more steep to make that work. So I do think 2 Doms is probably the best way to go today. And Minnie says, Hamlin with issues, weird. Is that like a joke because he's had so many issues so far this year? I do like him today, though. Going to the rear, that might drop his ownership a little bit. I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about because he's already starting, lower than mid-pack. But, yeah, Hamlin's been the guy that's just... He's been running well this year at times, but, man, he cannot finish a race. I mean, he did back into that one win, got a bit lucky, but outside of that, I mean, it's just been a bad time for Denny Hamlin this year. Had a fast car, though, for sure in certain races, especially last weekend. Jess999 says, how much of a factor is pit stall selection? I feel like the top pit stall was a factor in prior years. Larson losing pit selection, how much does that hurt him? It's certainly not optimal. I mean, they can make up for it. They've had a fast team this year, so I'm not going to be overly concerned about it. It is nice to have a good pit stall. I mean, that could obviously help out. a few drivers, but it's not going to be like the end all be all for me. Like if Larson can get up front and stay within the top 30 the majority of the day, I think there's a good chance he gets up front and dominates. But I'm not going to be overly concerned about it because Larson overall does have a very good team. Actually, I can pull up my pit stop times here. Hold on. So overall, the fastest team so far this year have been Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, and then Kyle Busch for the top 4. And that's just like the overall times from, you know, pit stop time, time in, time out, and everything. Bull says, I love this site so much. I hate it because there's so many ways to go. That's, you know, at the same, it's awesome that there's so many ways to go, but at the same time, you hate it because you don't really know where to land, especially if you're not doing like a 150 max contest. Like right now over on FanDuel, I'm doing 150 max, and I'm also doing some single entry. And I cannot decide on the single entry over there. Like 150 max shouldn't be too hard to build lineups, but I cannot land on the single entry because there's just so many guys I want to play and I can't fit them all, unfortunately. So there's a good side, there's a downside to it. Mom says good morning. Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully you have a fantastic day. Sorry I can't be there, but we'll have to hop on Discord later. Wishing all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. Bull says Ty Dillon below 6K. I think Ty Dillon's fine down there. I prefer Justin Haley the most below 6K, but Ty is cheap enough to make it work. The problem is he's starting P21, but if he can hold his track position, that's not a bad play. What's up, dude? Some Wrenchman made it. Do appreciate it. No right turns for Kurt Busch today, dude. I need him to stay clean. And speaking of the next question, we have what's your thoughts on Kurt Busch? I think Kurt Busch is a very solid tournament play today. Did write him up. Starting in 6, I'm hoping that keeps people away from him, but he was P4 in the 15 lap in practice. He's obviously very good at Darlington. Is just typically inside the top 10. Also was able to get up front and dominate here and there. Not really expecting that, but he has done in the past. Finished 8th at Auto Club earlier in the season. Finished 1st at Old Atlanta last year. 6th at Darlington last season. He's good at usually high tire wear tracks. I think starting in 6, he can hang around all day, and this price point's really good. I mean, if he was in the 8K range, I probably wouldn't be that interested. But at $7,300, price below a guy like Eric Almirola, I think it's definitely worth a shot in tournaments today. Interested is Chastain top 5 at plus 140, Reddick plus 200. I really like that Reddick top 5 odds. I wouldn't be surprised if Reddick won today. I really wouldn't. This is a good track setup for him. Let me see if Bob tweeted anything yet. Not seeing. Not that we're really waiting on too much news. We got that competition caution lap news that we were waiting for. Paper says let's dominate, fellas. Let's do it. I like this slate a lot. I like it a lot. I'm like really spread out on everybody though, which makes for an interesting slate because I'm never really sure what I want to happen. I'm going to be overweight on Larson up top, that's for sure. And then I'm overweight on Chastain and Reddick. Those are like my 3 overweight dominators, I guess. I mean, if you want to count Reddick as a dominator, he's kind of like a hybrid there, but those are the 3 I'm definitely rooting for the most up top. Ben says Larson, Elliott, Chastain, Kurt Busch, Haley, and LaJoie for cash. I personally wouldn't play Kurt Busch in cash. I mean, I like him a lot in tournaments, but for cash games, I think he's a bit risky starting in 6. I would rather probably drop down to like a Stenhouse or a Cindric instead of Kurt. Like him in tournaments a lot, but there is downside there starting in 6. Pugsley says, been a bit since I was able to get on the live. Yeah, it's been a while. Nice to have you here, though, for sure. Came back for a good slate today. Andrew says, I do not understand Larson's pit selection. If he qualified 2nd, I think he has a horrible pit stall. It's because he failed 2 times. I believe he failed 2 times on the inspection. So you lose some of your privileges when that happens. Let's see. Thank you. Good luck today, everyone. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some good luck today. Can certainly use it. I've had some guys have some bad luck the past couple of weekends. Nothing you can do about it, but hopefully that changes. Pugsley says, my lineup today on DraftKings tournaments is Logano, Blaney, Reddick, Briscoe, Cindric, and Custer. How do we feel? I think it's solid. I'm probably going to be a little bit lower on Logano and Blaney today. I'm not sure there's a real good reason on why I'm going to be lower on Blaney. I'm just getting the other guys a little bit more. Probably because I'm so heavy on Reddick and Chastain, so I naturally just can't be insanely high on Joey and Blaney. But they're definitely solid plays today. Love Reddick, like Briscoe, like Cindric, and like Custer. So it's a very solid lineup for sure. And you're also fading the chalky place differential play, so it makes you in a pretty good spot for tournaments as well. Foghorn Leghorn of the Blue Jays says, Elliott, Suarez, Logano, Harvick, Custer, Cindric. What do you think? I think it's solid. You got a couple of dominators there. Well, you have your early lap leader with Logano. You have Elliott, Harvick for your place differential, Suarez and Cindric in the mid-range, Custer down low. I think it's a solid lineup if Joey can dominate the majority of stage 1. Danny says, is Harvick a good play for a multiplier contest? What's a multiplier contest? Is that like a... I really don't know what a multiplier contest is. Is it like on Super Draft where you get like the 2x or something? I'm not really... He's a good play overall today though, no matter what side it is. Spread says, join our YouTube contest. Yeah, we got 9 spots left in the DK contest. So if you just now got here and you want to join, make sure you hit the link there, take you to my Twitter, and it'll join the contest. Oliver's dad says, thoughts on Logano and cash? Will he be high owned? I don't think you have to go with Joey and cash. I think he's going to have some decent ownership. The thing is, so you're probably playing Elliott in cash. You're probably playing Kevin Harvick, obviously, so that's 2. And then you got to decide between, do you want to play Joey Logano or do you want to play Kyle Larson? I think it's where most people are going to go. The thing is, if you play Logano, you can build a more well-balanced lineup. If you go Larson, you kind of have to get stars and scrubsy, so you're probably going down to the Ricky Stenhouse, Cole Custer, Corey LaJoie range, Justin Haley. Personally, for me, I like Larson over Logano. I realize there's like a $2,000 price difference. The lineup probably looks better with Logano, but I'm not really sure how long he's going to hold that lead. If you want to play him in cash, though, I think it's okay. He will have some ownership for sure. John says McDowell. Not huge on McDowell personally. I think there's better plays down low. I'd rather play Haley. I'd rather play Gilliland. I'd rather play Ty Dillon. I just see him losing spots today. Jared says Larson, Ross the Boss, Reddick, Harvick, LaJoie, and Hemrick. That sounds amazing. I love Larson, love Chastain, love Reddick, love Harvick, like LaJoie, and I like Hemrick. It's a very good lineup. Pugsley says, did Chris give his take on Logano today? I'm very indifferent on Logano. I could see his price point. If he was like $10,000 some dollars, I'm gonna be pretty underweight on Logano at $9,200. I think being even on the field is probably my best bet. I might be slightly underweight. I think the competition caution does hurt him quite a bit because he could obviously get shuffled out after 30 laps. We've seen it many times whenever we have a competition caution. So I do have my concerns there. I think Larson's got the better long run car. I think we're better at conserving his tires. So I'm personally, for me, I'm really hoping Joey loses the lead at some point early on. I wouldn't be surprised if he led the first 30 laps, but outside of that, it's kind of going to be an unknown what happens. And starting in P1, you do not have much wiggle room to lose spots. That is for sure. C. Austin says, so we're counting Reddick as a Dominator. Yeah, Reddick is currently in my Dominator group in the Optimizer. I mean, you could leave him out as like a hybrid guy, but he's currently in my Dom group. Starting P10, he's fast in practice. I mean, like, and if he doesn't get up front, like, he can still be a good play today, but I'm not sure he'll be optimal unless he's picking up fast laps like the entire race. But if he doesn't get up front, path to optimal is kind of hard, but I do think there's a decent chance he could contend to get up front or run top 3 all day. I know he sucked last week. RCR just completely missed, but they should bounce back quite nicely. At least Reddick should. I'm not sure about Austin Dillon. Pugsley says, is Kyle racing with Samantha maybe having their kid? I haven't seen news on it myself. He's slated to race today, but Trevor Bayne is on standby. So there might be you might see Kyle Busch hopping out of the car on pit road at some point, someone else hopping into the car, which anybody outside of Kyle Busch in that car is going to be a big downgrade. So It will suck if that happens with Kyle Busch. It's just something you're going to have to roll the dice with today. But you will still get points for Busch the entire time. It's not going to transfer to somebody else, as long as it happens during the race. Jay from Connecticut says, DraftKings tournament, Larson, Chastain, Reddick, Kurt Busch, Buescher, and Haley. That's a really good tournament lineup. I liked it a lot. Like it a lot. Love Kurt for tournaments. Love Reddick. Love Chastain. Yeah, that's a really good lineup. Sean says, thoughts on playing Larson and Logano in the same lineup? It's fine. I know people do not like playing 1 and 2 together, but I mean, we've seen many times where that has worked before. They're going to have the track position to work with, and Logano was super fast in practice, more so in the short run. Larson looked really good in the long run. I don't mind it. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to do it, but if I get like them both in my lineups in the optimizer, I'm not going to just toss them out to the trash. I think they're going to be fine lineups. It's not my favorite thing to do, though. Aaron says, I hand build all my teams every week, and this week I went Elliott 50% of my lineups. Too high, too low? Honestly, probably about right. I'm a little bit lower than that personally, just because I want more exposure to some of the dominators up top. But if you had 50% Elliott, I don't have a problem with that at all. He's second in projections for me. Larson's 1, but Elliott's right there too. He just probably is going to lack that Dominator upside. I only gave him 5 potential Dominator points, and most of that's just fast laps, hopefully. Travis Miller says, what's your opinion on the win and you're in the playoffs format? Looking at how Hamlin is doing this year, for example, it hardly seems fair. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I was listening to Door Bumper Clear last night when I was crunching, and they were talking about the same exact thing. And I don't know, like I think when you win a race, it's insanely hard to do. I think you deserve to be compensated for it. But at the same time, I mean, you can easily luck into a win, like kind of like what Hamlin did, and be terrible for the rest of the year. Like we saw Cole Custer steal that one race where he won. So he was in the playoffs. He didn't deserve to be there. So, I mean, I like it because I kind of like the chaos. But at the same time, I mean, when you luck into a win, you just, I don't know. It's hard to win in NASCAR, though, so I think you do deserve to be compensated for it. So I guess I'll say it's fine, but there's pros and cons with it. Dex Bird says, Elliott, Truex, Harvick, Bell, Stenhouse, and LaJoie for tournaments. So you have Truex up front to dominate. You have Bell right there as well. Elliott and Harvick as your PD. Stenhouse, yeah, I think it's a good lineup. Follows all the general rules I would follow this weekend, so I think you're good. John says, have a great race today, CP and family. Let's get that loot. Let's do it, John. Hopefully you have a fantastic day. Mark says, time to drop the hammer. DraftKings tournament lineup. Larson, Chastain, Reddick. Sorry, I got like 50 notifications just now. Okay. Larson, Chastain, 2 Doms. Reddick, kind of like a 2/3 Doms there. Harvick, Haley, LaJoie. It's a good lineup. I like it a lot. There's a lot of upside in that lineup. And you still got Kevin Harvick back there as well. I like it a lot. Dude says, general info, courtesy of the GOAT, Bobby P. 342 Cup race, stages 90, 95, and 108. Then it's going to be a long race. 297 laps. I thought it was 293. Not that it makes much of a difference, but I guess that would tweak the projections a little bit. I think NASCAR site says 293. I gotta double check. It's gonna bother me. Okay, it's the same thing either way. I think it's 293 though. But 11 sets of tires, fuel, 66.73 laps, 60s and 2% chance. They're kind of cool over there in South Carolina today. Andrew says Reddick to win plus 1,500. I mean, I think this is a decent week to get a Reddick to win bet. I really do. Is it likely he wins? Probably not likely, but I think the chance is definitely there for him. Darlington is going to be a good track for him. Bull says, any thoughts on Bell today? I'm not a huge fan of Bell. I have a little bit just because, like, I think JGR should be somewhat strong today. I just wish he was a little bit cheaper, and he was not good in practice. I mean, P29 in the 10 lap, P12 in the 15. And I wouldn't say Darlington's been an amazing track for him. It's a smaller sample size, but starting in P3, I mean, there's a chance he could get up front and dominate. If you want to throw him in your Dom group to get some sprinkles, that's okay, but I'm not going my way to play Bell today. What kind of ownership do you think Cindric will garner? I think I have him around 15, not myself, but I think that's where I think the field comes in. Let me pull it up exactly so I'm not lying to you. So I have Cindric projected around, yeah, like 15 to 17% ownership. I am going to do an update on the ownership projections. For those of you over on the Patreon that have access to the optimizer, I'm going to update these. I got to move a couple guys around. I think I'm a little bit too low on some of these cheaper guys. Like LaJoy, I think I need to bump up. Everyone's talking about LaJoy today on Twitter. I saw a couple of people talk about them in articles. So I do think the LaJoy ownership is going to be higher than what I thought it was going to be, which it makes sense because none of the cheap guys really stand out on this slate. They're kind of all just there. So I was a little bit spread out, but I do think people are kind of landing on LaJoy below 5K quite a bit, which I get it. John says, can you give us your favorite tire wear drivers? 3 picks or so. Thanks, buddy. Ooh, favorite tire wear drivers. I guess Kyle Larson. I mean, Denny Hamlin's really good at conserving his tires. I do like, we haven't really talked about Hamlin today. I do like him though. He's P2 in the 15 lap. And he's been strong. I don't want to say he's been strong this year. He's been fast in certain races this year. Plus he's really good at Darlington. I mean, so for me, I'd probably say like Hamlin and Larson there. Hamlin is going to the rear though. It doesn't change too much for me. Just keep that in mind though. If you're wondering why he's going to start with negative points to start. Bull says Bell, Chastain, Harvick, Elliott, Haley, and Stenhouse. Let's see, so our Doms, we got Bell and Chastain. So for that lineup, you're just assuming Bell dominates. I would assume, which do I think it's likely? No, but if you're making that assumption for that lineup, I don't think that's bad. And obviously Chastain is another dominator as well. All right, Big Gritter says, would you play Larson and Logano together in tournaments? I wouldn't go out of my way to do it. I do think it's kind of counterproductive, but if it happens, if I'm building like 20 lineups or 150, if it happens in some lineups, I'm okay with it, but if I'm hand building, I'm not doing it today. Daniel says, safer cash play. I like how you put safer because those are 2 not safe drivers. Keselowski or Suarez. For me, it's going to be Suarez. I trust Trackhouse a little bit more. He's got better odds to win the race. He's also faster in practice, so I'll give the slightly into Suarez there, even though he's got less PD upside. Brian says, my man, pots and pans. I like that. Pots and pans. Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you and yours. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see. Kevin says, what's your opinion on Landon Castle? I'm not sure I really have an opinion on Landon Castle. He's just kind of there. $5,000, starting in 33rd. Looking at practice, he was P35 in both the 1 and 5 lap. He's probably going to finish in the 30s. Not a lot of upside. I'd rather play Corey LaJoy. Aaron says, is Briscoe a good play? Yeah, I like Briscoe today. I don't really see a reason not to like Briscoe. Finished 13th at Dover, 16th at Auto Club, which I know isn't super impressive. But I do like the P3 in the 15 lap in practice and the P7 in the 10 lap. $8,100. He's a good tournament play today. I don't have like a ton of exposure to Briscoe, but I'm hoping he goes kind of overlooked. I'm going to be slightly overweight there. See, Chris Logan said M. Not sure what to say back. Foghorn says, I just bet the house. I forget what I said at that point, so I have no idea. What'd you bet the house on, though? Cody says, who do I like in the 7K range? I like Kurt Busch and Austin Cindric. I also kind of like Daniel Suarez, but I wouldn't say it's an overly impressive range. But I do like Kurt Busch the most, probably. Obi says, thank you and good luck, y'all. Foghorn says, let's go, Brandon. Dave says, Larson, Chastain, Bowman, Cindric, Stenhouse, Haley for tournaments. I don't really like Bowman today. I don't. I mean, is he a terrible play? Maybe given the circumstances in the 9K range, yeah. But the overall, the lineup does look solid. I mean, it follows rules. You have Larson as your dominator. You have Chastain as a dominator. You have Bowman, hybrid mixed dom. I'm not really on him today, though. Then Cindric, Stenhouse, Haley. Overall, it's solid. I have no concerns with it. I just don't really like Bowman too much, but if you like Bowman, it's a good lineup. Dude says, Happy Mother's Day, Mama Pennell. You should be very proud of your leader. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Jet says, any thoughts on the old man narrative? I believe I saw 11 out of the last 13 winners were over 30 years old. I mean, I get it the way Darlington is. I mean, you got to have experience here. Can I pull up all the drivers' ages that are over 30? Drivers' ages. Let's see. All right, so if you want the old man narratives today, I mean, can I sort this by age? I can. Okay, so Harvick's 46, Kurt Busch is 43, Hamlin's 41, Truex is 41, LaJoie's 30, Suarez is 30. Suarez does not seem 30 to me. Neither does Ty Dillon. You have Logano, Dillon, Stenhouse, Kyle Busch. Dallas 37. You learn something new every day. I didn't realize Keselowski was 38 either. I mean, he's 7 years older than Joey Logano. Or am I looking at the contract age when it'll end? No, I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Back to this. Oh, my thoughts on the old man narrative? I mean, it's fine, but I'm not gonna play somebody or not play them just due to their age. Philip says, do you like Cindric and Buescher today for FanDuel? I like them on DraftKings. On FanDuel, $1,600 for Buescher. It's not as quite the value as it is on DraftKings. Cindric, though, I like at $6,200, quite a bit over on FanDuel. I mean, he had a fast short run car at least in practice. We'll see how it holds up, and it's tough to trust a rookie at Darlington because they can certainly earn their stripes quite easily. But I think he's worth some shots at $6,200. If I'm playing single entry though, I'm probably not gonna get the Cindric. You're welcome, C. Austin. Natalie says, do you think Kyle Busch may have to use Trevor Bayne? I don't know. I mean, no one can really know that. It's just gonna be luck of the draw if it happens or not. You'd have to ask Samantha, I guess, but I really have no idea. That's the risk that's carried with Kyle Busch this weekend. He's a good play, but, I mean, is he going to race the whole time? You have no idea. James says, how about Custer? I like Custer. He dug himself out of the hole last weekend where he went a lap down early on, ended up finishing P15, or P11, right? No, P15. 11th was the Auto Club race, and then 11th at Darlington. Last year, starting 28, $1,600. He's kind of like the same play as last weekend. So if you liked him last weekend, I think you should kind of like him again. Wasn't really fast in practice or qualifying, but I think he'll be okay. I like that price point quite a bit. Chris Davis says, Logano, Reddick, Elliott, Custer, Harvick, Haley for cash. I mean, it's solid. I mean, cash is tough this weekend. I kind of like getting Larson in there. But at the same time, you can make a case for Logano too. Overall, it's solid, though, so I won't talk you out of that. Bradley says, man, I want to play the Domin 18 car, but baby, Kyle Busch, okay. But babies scare me, so Hamlin, Harvick, Chastain, Reddick, Cindric, and LaJoie. And I am going to turn the computer off and walk away. That's probably the best way to do it. I haven't even built my lineups yet, so I haven't even been able to tinker. So it's probably the best thing for me because I hate when I make a lineup early, then I pivot off of it. So I just usually wait until it's possible to build my lineup, so I can't say I pivoted off whatever I had in first place. Bull says, thoughts on the F1 race at the same time. It's stupid. Why are we doing two races at the same time? You should have scheduled this differently. The F1 race in Miami looks cool, though. I know they did like a Post Malone concert yesterday, which looked cool. Yeah, but everything is super expensive. I think someone at the race said there was like $800 stakes, and the hats are like $90. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. I don't really like F1 though, but since it's in Miami, I mean, it would have been cool to go to it since I'm not too far away. Bull says, give DBC a shout out. Yeah, I love that podcast. I'm sure you guys listen to it as well, but I love Door Bumper Clear. Bull got me onto it like a couple months ago, and I've been listening every single week ever since. Bradley says, I had Allgaier and Gragson yesterday. Saw Allgaier in the pits with 2 minutes left. I took him out, and Gragson out for Gibbs and Reddick. I hate myself. I'm sorry, Bradley. It happens. It happens. Thank you, dude. Very proud of my boy. He's always made his dad nice. Extremely proud of him with everything. Oh, thank you, Mom. Appreciate it. Dude says, mentioning F1 as grounds for being banished. Boy, don't make me whip out the wrench. Yeah, we all know here, at least in the Discord, that I have no interest in F1. We have some people that break it down for us in here, and Hunter runs F1 simulations, but I don't have any interest in it. They do well, though. I know that, but not something I can get into, especially with being at the same time as NASCAR today. What's up, Rick? Haven't heard from you. Happy race day, everyone. Nice to have you here, Rick. Glad you could make it. Oh, got a donut from man Joe here. Sorry if you did that a while ago. I just now saw it. Pump play for big GPP, 5.9 Haley or 4.9 LaJoy. If you have the money for Haley, I'd rather go there. Just more upside. They're starting one spot away from each other, but Haley definitely has more top 20 upside than Corey LaJoy would have. Let's see. Michael says, Elliott, Kyle Busch, Larson, Stenhouse, and Harvick. Thoughts? It's a good lineup. As long as Kyle Busch doesn't have to leave the race at some point, it's a good lineup. But it's just a complete guessing game. Robert says, top 3 tourney plays. I mean, probably like Kurt Busch, Reddick, and Chastain. Like, I know Reddick and Chastain have some ownership, but I really like being overweight on those two. Let's go, Jay. Hopefully it's a good day today. Andre says, I like Denny also. I like him too. Starting P22, the price isn't too bad. Amazing at Darlington. Good at the high tire wear tracks, conserving tires, fast in the longer in practice. Besides going to the rear, I mean, there's really not many things to not like about Denny. The only reason why you might not get to a ton of him is because if you're really heavy on the guys in the 9K range, and then you also have Larson and Elliott above him, so it's kind of hard to get to a ton of Denny, but I certainly want some exposure to him for sure. More so than I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder to fit in Denny, but I am able to get in around 20-some% and feel pretty good about it. Let's see. Jake says, Chastain, Bowman, or Blaney. Last man in. For me, that's going to be Chastain. What's up, Pedro? I love watching your pissed off videos yesterday. I think it was on Instagram. Love watching those. They're really cool. My favorite question, what's too much money left on the table today? I don't find myself leaving much money on the table at all today, really. I mean, it's a week to kind of spend your money. I'm going to crunch 20 laps really quick. I will let you know the statistics here. So average salary used, 49.8. Doesn't look like it's going to be a week to leave too much money on the table. What was the lowest salary used? So we have 49.3, which was actually my highest projected one there. Yeah, it looks like it was about the lowest, actually. Yeah, it looks like my highest predicted lineup today, it leaves 700 on the table. I mean, you guys could probably figure that out if you started building. It doesn't go lower than Justin Haley. It's actually not a bad lineup at all, really. It's got Kyle Larson, it's got Elliott, it's got Harvick. That's a really good lineup, actually. We'll see if you guys can figure it out. Dude says, any love for Recky Spinhouse today? Yes, I like him a lot. Scary to say, but I know he's starting in the back, but fast in practice. He's been fast at the 2 high tire tracks this year. He's good at steep tracks. It's never fun playing Ricky, but I do think it makes some sense this weekend. Scholar says, Gilland or LaJoy in GPP. If you have the money for Gilland, I'd rather just probably pony up the extra money for him, but they're very similar plays. Eric says, I like 15% on Cindric. That's what I want to hear. I'm taking a stand there. I'm at 50%. Wow. I don't think it's a bad stand to be on. I mean, he's cheap, fast in the short run in practice. Obviously, got a little bit slower as it progressed. The only concern is he's a rookie at Darlington. That's my concern. But I don't mind being overweight on Cindric today. Appreciate the commercial for me spread. Yeah, if you want to sign up for those spreadsheets, ownership projections, and all that fun stuff, click the link there. It'll take you right to it. Benny says, love your content, Chris. Don't jump in chat much. Just want to give you a shout out and say thanks. Appreciate that, Benny. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoy the content. And hopefully you do well today as well. Albert says, late to the party, no problem at all. Hard to type questions while making omelets for 30 people. Are you a chef or something, or you just have 30 people at your house? Either way, though, I love omelets. So keep up the good work. See, Austin says, C-Pen always age shaming people. No, I'm not, Gramps. I would never. Oh, by the way, the Awesome Live Before Lock show is at 1:30. I'm glad I checked that. Usually it's at around 2. I believe it's at 1. Hold on. Let me confirm this. Okay, so we have on Sunday, the NASCAR Live Before Lock show is at 1:30 today, and we get out at 2:25. So actually, we have like an hour to crunch afterwards, which is kind of nice. Must be NBA on today or something. Andrew says, a random thought, we should be able to bet NASCAR like horse racing. I would like to bet a $20 box on the 5 and 18 car using their odds. I don't know the first thing about horse racing. I saw like a big underdog won yesterday, and people won a lot of money from it, but that's the only thing I don't know how it works outside of that. But I know it was like Kentucky Derby yesterday. I'm not sure if that's still going on today, but I know it's quite popular. Sean says, top leverage play for a single entry DK GPP. Leverage play? I gotta... I don't think I posted my sim scores yet, so I think just eyeballing it, it might be Kurt Busch, I think. I'll have to double check that though, but it might be Kurt Busch or Cindric. Let's see. Oh, I already answered that one. Spread says, have to ask Kyle Samantha's surrogate mother. Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. We'd have no idea. It's just going to be luck of the draw whether Kyle Busch finishes the race or not. Chris Brown says, Busher, Chastain, Elliott, Haley, Larson, McDowell for DraftKings cash. Should I switch McDowell for some other scrub? Yeah, I wouldn't play McDowell in cash today. Everything else looks solid though. I love Larson, Chastain, Elliott. Well, if it's cash, I'd recommend getting Harvick in there too. You're going to need Harvick in cash. So find a way to fit Harvick in. Probably have to drop somebody, but find a way to get Harvick in. And as far as McDowell goes, I'd rather... The only guys that play in cash in the 5K range are Haley and Gilliland, maybe Ty Dillon, but really the only guy I'd want to play is Justin Haley. What's up, Galvin? Thanks for the advice and time. No problem at all. Best of luck to all today. Yeah, we could always use some good luck today, I'm sure. Breezy says, Elliott, Byron, Blaney, Busher, and LaJoy. So we have Byron and Blaney's are Doms. Not huge on them. Elliott, obviously you could play today. Briscoe, Busher, LaJoy. It works. It works. I'm not like super on Byron today at all, but actually I have like 0 Byron today, so I'm kind of hoping he sucks, but hope it works out for you, I guess. Robert says, Busher, a sneaky tourney play today. Finished top 10 both Darlington races last year. I like Busher. I think he's a pretty solid tournament play today. Wasn't strong in the 5 and 10 lap, but he was also P6 in the 15. Again, not as many people ran 15 laps, so you hate to put too much into it, but I don't think Busher's a bad play. Spread says better than the short people header jokes. It's a Discord joke there. Minnie says, forget the puppy. It's Mother's Day. Time to get the bun baking. We'll stick with the puppy talk as far as that goes. And Daniel says, what's wrong with Kyle Busch? Nothing's wrong with him. They just might be having... He's on baby watch today. So, yeah, it's kind of a wait and see thing there. Matt says, love NASCAR, but it's F1 for me today on the TV. I can't do it. I just don't like watching F1. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't look as entertaining to me. I mean, maybe the racing's better, but I like the chaos of NASCAR. It's cool that it's in Miami, though. I mean, it would have been cool to go, but it looks like it would cost a house to get there and get food and stuff. Mike says, is Haley playable on FanDuel, Chris? He really was last week at $2,500. $5,000. Yeah, I'd rather play Custer. He's okay, but I'd rather. I mean, his teammate, Hemrick's only $2,500. You gotta imagine they have similar upside. Like, I love that price tag on Hemrick on FanDuel. I mean, he's basically free. Let's see. Eric says, I've been listening to DBC since they started it. Fun podcast, and you can get some legit good info from it too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, like, it's just really fun listening to the spotters, and I mean, they know stuff that most of the public won't know, so it's really nice to listen to, and it's funny. It's a good time there. I really do enjoy when it comes out. I'm glad Bull got me onto it because I didn't know it existed. Sean says, we are playing Kurt today. $1 Million Man Sean, by the way, as well. So don't take what he says for a grain of salt, but I do like Kurt quite a bit for sure. Albert says, single entry GPP, Larson, Chastain, Reddick, Austin. I think it's the first I've heard about Austin Dillon today. Custer and LaJoie, that works. I mean, it follows the rules. You can make a case for all those drivers. I don't think that's bad. Kevin says, best DraftKings pick, $5,700 and below. Because you only have one guy at $5,700, but I'm assuming you mean below. I would probably say Gillen or LaJoie. Bradley says, good luck everyone. Let's get that money. Happy Mother's Day, or is it Mother's Day? Anyway, thank you. Good luck. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's the apostrophe or not. I'm assuming it's the apostrophe. Spread says, Kyle Busch has a surrogate mother having his and Samantha's baby. He's on baby watch. Yes. That is what is happening today. Sean says, Hamlin the sneakiest play on the board. No, he's not going to be that sneaky. He's going to have ownership. Sneakiness up top, it's going to be hard to find. Like, these guys are going to be owned. I mean, Byron's probably going to be the lowest, or Alex Bowman, but I think it's for a good reason. I'm not really high on either of them. Ty Gibbs Future Goat says, I would play Elliott, but I'm going to pass. Byron did too much with a backup last week. I mean, at the same time, Kyle Busch was in a backup to one race, and he just came out and dominated, so it's like, that's not really something I care about too much. Plus, Byron was in the top 10 for a good chunk of that race. I know he kind of did some pit strategy to make it work. Ended up dying at the very end, but I'm never really concerned about backup cars. Let's see. Spread says, Hamlin starting 22nd, one top 10 on the year. Tough call for 10-3. Yeah, he's had a lot of bad luck, though, as well. Got to keep that in mind. But I don't like him as much as some of the other guys up top, but I do think he's a solid enough play today. I mean, the bad luck's just got to stop at some point. It really does. I don't know. He might just be cursed this year. I'm not sure. Who comes in third today? Who comes in third? I don't know. Let's see. Let me see what the projections say. Got like Busch and Blaney in that range as far as third goes, but you can kind of throw a blanket over like Reddick, Chastain, Busch, and Blaney as far as third place goes. Let's see. Russian Bot says, when you say you would play tournament and not cash, what is the difference? Optimal lineup is optimal in either? Huh? I'm not really sure what you mean. Like, in cash games, you're just trying to play as safe as possible. But some weeks, it comes to me easy as far as the cash lineup goes, and some weeks it's kind of difficult to get to, and I feel like I just don't have quite the edge in cash, which is kind of one of those weeks. There's lineups I like, but I feel like I just rather play tournaments and build my own without having to worry about ownership or whatnot. That kind of answers your question. Ben says, FanDuel, Larson, Elliott, Harvick, Logano, and LaJoie. Yeah, over in FanDuel, I'm not really a huge fan of getting down to the scrubs too much, like a LaJoie. I don't think I have much at all of LaJoie there. Because he is, he's 4,000 on FanDuel. I can get Hemrick, who I predicted better, for $2,500. Robert says, Harvick, Elliott. Plus on FanDuel, I want my guys to be in the lead lap. And I just feel like we're going to have Corey LaJoie go down at some point. Maybe not, but I'm not overly confident. Better play on DraftKings, that's for sure. Robert says, Harvick, Elliott, Reddick, Cindric, Haley, and Dillon, and Attorney. That's pretty good. I don't mind that at all. But the only downside I would say is your only guy in the top 10 is Reddick. So you're really hoping he gets up front and dominates quite quickly. That's the only concern I would have with that lineup. Spread says, in cash, you double your money, whether it's optimal or 50th and 100 entry contest. GP has a big prize. Yeah, it's exactly. Yes, check in from work. Who's the pick of the day? For me, I'll go Larson. Larson, Reddick, and Chastain. If they finish 1, 2, 3, just know I will be very happy today. Jeffrey says, Ross the boss to victory lane, and let's go Guardians. Hey, got a Guardians fan there. Yeah, I would be fine with either of those things happening. Hopefully the Guardians do well, and hopefully Ross the boss is contending for a win. I'll be very happy with both. Don says, Custer, Spinhouse. Chris, I would go with Spinhouse. Mad Dog says, thoughts on Cindric. Cindric is, on paper, he's a good play for me. I just worry about using a rookie here at Darlington. But prediction-wise, he looks pretty good today. Fast in the short run, 9th in the 10 lap, starting 19th. Cheap enough. I think he should definitely make his way into some lineups. By the way, I'm gonna have to get out of here soon. So if you have any dire questions, please let me know. But I have my Awesemo show. I believe I have to get there at 1:15. I have some lineups to build. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to answer them all. Blitz through them a little bit. Looks like I got a little bit to go though. Let's see. Joe says last man in for big GPP with 7,400 remaining. I'm looking at Cindric, Stenhouse, or $6,500 Wallace. For me, the projections would say Stenhouse. Him and Cindric are within 1.5, but I have a slight lean to Stenhouse there. Alan says 1v1. I'm assuming that's Kyle Busch or Chastain. I would go with Chastain there. Get a couple PD spots, and Chastain's just been so good. Margie Don says Gibbs cars today. I do like him. You can make a good case for him, and you can make a good case for Truex. I mean, if you're looking at practice, he sucked. But at the same time, that was what we saw last weekend. And he's just really good at Darlington. I'm willing to play Truex. Plus, he's in the auto owner scheme, I believe. Yeah, the auto owner's paint scheme, which seems to make him faster. I'm not sure why, but whatever reason it is. And then Kyle Busch I like too. Not super high on Christopher Bell though. Juliana says, how about the puppy and the bun? Oh, we're almost through all the questions. Jake says, what type of American likes F1 over? I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Ty Gibbs says F1 is racing on the Vegas Strip at night starting next year. Imagine those ticket prices. That's going to be awesome. I might have to watch that. Might have to watch that one. As long as NASCAR's on at the same time. But that's going to be sweet. And yeah, those ticket prices are going to be insane. That is going to be one expensive trip. Sean says Hamlin, Harvick, Reddick, LaJoy, Haley, and Larson. Single entry tournaments. Thoughts? Okay, you got Larson, Reddick, Doms, yes. Hamlin. Yeah, it's a good lineup. Got no problem with that. Michael says, are people afraid to play Kyle because of the watch? And would you play Kyle Busch or Denny? I think that might be. I'm sure some people are concerned about it. We've definitely gotten questions about it. I personally have a little bit more Kyle Busch than Denny today. I just think he's more likely to get up front and dominate. Cody says, GPP, Buescher or Stenhouse? I will go with Stenhouse. Josh says, hello, Chris. Thanks for the info. You helped me cash last weekend. Hope for another good day. Good luck to you. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Josh, and hopefully we can keep that up. Do appreciate you stopping by. William Byron Loan today says, Daniel, yes, he is. He's not going to pick up too much ownership. Hit the wall in qualifying, was slow in practice. $10,100. You can make a case for this one. All these guys up top. William Byron's going to be that guy that gets shuffled out a little bit. Jake says Hamlin was running 4th last week and got wrecked by lap traffic. Yeah, Hamlin had a bad weekend last week. He was in 1st, got off a pit road 1st. Well, I guess his tire beat him. Had to go to the back, worked his way back up, got clipped. I think it was Cody Ware. Just bad times for Denny Hamlin, that's for sure. Alex says Lenny Castle viable last piece in cash. I would not. I would rather dip down to Corey LaJoy there, and you're welcome. Any good prize picks today, CP? I am not seeing much leverage on the prize picks today. Everything is pretty close to projections. The only thing I would probably say is if you think Larson just dominates and wins this race, you might as well take his over 69.5 prop. Outside of that, not loving a ton. Joey Logano got bet down. He was 61.5. Now he's 59.5. If you like Hamlin today, he's at 54.5. Chastain's only at 44.5. Kurt's only at 27.5, which seems good. Harvick got beefed up. I want to say it was like 56 or 59. He's now at 61. Outside of that, nothing like crazy. The laps led props are kind of juiced up. I mean, you have Larson at 77 and Joey Logano at 54. If you don't think Logano leads after the competition caution, you might as well take the under on 54 there. But I don't really see anything I like. Yeah, 4 spots left in the contest. It's going to fill. If you want in, grab the last couple of spots. Mad Dog says, Chastain, Cindric, Elliott, LaJoie, Larson. Thoughts? It looks good. You have Larson and Chastain as your Doms. Elliott for PD. LaJoie and Cindric. It must be on FanDuel because it's only 5 drivers. But overall, it's solid. Fingerter says, Embiid or Luka are trying to play both. I have not been following the NBA playoffs. I guess I'll say Luka just because I like Luka more. Ty Gibbs says, what ownership projection do you have on MTJ? Not quite 30%, but I believe I have him around low 20s. Low 20s for MTJ. There's just going to be a lot of ownership on Elliott and Larson up top. And then obviously Chastain and Busch are going to have pick up ownership as well. So it's not going to be too high on Truex, I don't think, at least. How do you feel about Corey LaJoie? Good play over on DK. Really cheap, priced like a scrub, but I think he's a little bit better than that. I think you're getting a nice discount there. The last question I'll probably answer is Reddick or Harvick, last driver in. If it's cash, Harvick. If it's a tournament, I will go with Tyler Reddick. Oh, and Mad Dog says Stenhouse is my last driver. No problem, I like Stenhouse though quite a bit. But we made it through the chat. I gotta get on the Awesemo stream in like less than an hour. So if you guys are gonna go over there, I will see you there. If not, I do appreciate everyone stopping by today. If you want to check out the Patreon, you know where to find it. Link can be found down below. But I'll get out of here. I'm tired. I'll see you all next time. I got some lineups to crunch as well.